Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, I want to talk about a really interesting aspect that's coming into orb, and it's pretty rare, and it will be affecting all of us in some specific way. And I want to say I'm very interested in this aspect. It can be something beautiful. Yeah, I'm usually talking about what's not so beautiful, but this is very interesting. And what I think it's going to bring out is deep creativity, interest in the arts, and most of all, we're going to have some movies that are going to be life-changing and inspiring in this world. Movies, information, beauty, arts are all going to come alive. And what in the world am I talking about? So I'm going to give you that information after I tell you about my free newsletter. So remember this, you can sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org. And while you're there signing up for my free newsletter, take note of my Patreon page. You can become part of the spiritual community. It is an amazing club, really, where it is a spiritual congregation of people, and I offer live classes. You get my magazine. You get to tell me what videos you want me to film. So much more. Check that out. As well as, don't forget, I'm going to be starting semester 1 with the University of Vedic Astrology. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. And then don't forget, my galactic planner is so amazing. You can pull up your own personal chart, and from there it gives you all the aspects, the transits, what's happening in your life, day by day, week by week, year by year. Go to galacticplanner.com. You will be amazed. Okay, let's get going. So what is this aspect and when is it? It actually occurs February 1st. And actually, this is something that's ongoing. You're going to hear me talking about this for a very long time, because actually in March and even in April, this aspect becomes more and more intense. And what I'm talking about is Venus. Venus is going to be going into Pisces. And it's actually the end of January, but by February 1st, well, Venus goes into Pisces the end of January, and then it's going to align with Rahu, Neptune, and on February 1st, even the moon. So that is like astounding. Moon, Venus, Neptune, and Rahu, all at 3 degrees. And remember, I do sidereal Vedic astrology. So guys, don't be looking at the Western stuff. And actually, to be honest, Venus is still going to be in Pisces, but the very end of Pisces, whereas sidereally in Vedic astrology, it's in the early degrees of Pisces. So it's going to be at 3 degrees of Pisces. All of those planets, Moon, Neptune, Venus, Rahu. Wow. All 4 of those planets. I know the nodes aren't actually planets, but we call them that. But man, what is this all about? Well, let me just say, Venus is beauty, and it's exalted in the sign of Pisces. It's beauty, and it rules the arts, it rules love. So I want you to be extremely careful about your relationships at this time, because if you're looking to fall in love and these planets hit any of your planets, and or let me just say, if you're a Virgo rising, then all these planets are hitting in your 7th house of relationships. Okay. And if you're a Scorpio rising, then all these planets are hitting in your 5th house of love, dating, and romance. But you need to be careful. Remember what I always say, Neptune is like a spell's been cast on you. Neptune is going to be with Venus, which is love, marriage, relationships. But oh boy, is it going to be fun. Because this is like a mystical, spiritual, off the charts experience and relationship. Just remember, once Neptune leaves these planets, the spell could wear off. So make sure you're seeing things clearly. You're going to have to be more realistic. And I believe once Saturn comes in here, the realism will wake up. Now, Saturn doesn't go into Pisces till the end of March 29th. And of course, it's going to be there for the next 2.5 years. But here is the most important thing of all. So, you know, somebody with a Virgo rising could fall madly in love with somebody. And then Saturn comes along, and Saturn's in their 7th house for the next 2.5 years. So that relationship may not be what it was in the beginning. Okay. But for everyone else, I want you to notice what house Pisces hits. Because then that's going to tell you so much. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that. But so much of what is about to occur. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a little tidbit of a lowdown of all the different signs. But before I do that, let me finish talking about this. So Neptune can be, they say it's like a altered Venus. They say it's the higher vibration of Venus, Neptune can be. The higher octave, as they call it. So it does deal with beauty, things of another world, love, out of this world, okay? But it can deal with deception too. Neptune being with the moon on this day is some kind of deception or delusions, not seeing clearly. This is a crazy day, but the arts and movies and videos, and you know, it's a great day to go to the movies, to escape into another world of beauty and imagination. Rahu, whenever it's with the planet, it exaggerates what all this energy is about. So the Venus, the Neptune, the moon, Rahu will expand that energy all the more. But even though the moon is only there for 2.5 days, all those other planets are going to be there for a long time. And let me tell you something else that is amazing about this. Now, I know a lot of you don't know astrology, but just listen up here. Jupiter right now, sidereally, is in Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus, during this time, and by the way, Venus is going to be in Pisces because it's going to go retrograde and direct. It's going to be in Pisces for 4 months, all the way till about the first week of June, from the last week of January. Think about how long that is. Usually Venus is in a sign per month. So its long duration in the sign intensifies all this Venusian, Venus, beauty, love, relationship, arts, energy all the more. But going back to Jupiter being in Venus's sign, because Jupiter's in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Well, Venus is in Pisces in the sign that is ruled by Jupiter. Yes, we use the old rulerships in Vedic astrology. So it's not Neptune. And even so, Neptune is there as well. But, so here's what we have. We have Jupiter in Taurus, ruled by Venus, and Venus in Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. That is what we call a mutual exchange of signs. In Vedic astrology, it's called a parivartana. What does that mean? It means it connects those two planets like one. They become one together. So, in other words, as Venus gets uplifted even more, What do I think this can all mean? Venus is also the money planet, and so is Jupiter. So Jupiter and Venus, I often say this, that Jupiter is the planet of millionaires, but Venus is the planet of billionaires because it deals with exuberant, opulent wealth. It does. It deals with the ability to buy yachts and airplanes. It's like Venus is mega wealth. So what do I think this means? Yes, there's the stock market and everything's going to go off the charts. There's going to be so many people that become wealthy during this time. So use this energy wisely. That's what astrology's for, isn't it? Use this energy. You can. So this is what I'm seeing while Venus and Jupiter stay in these signs. Now, Jupiter will leave Taurus around May 14th. So it'll be broken by May 14th, even though Venus will stay in Pisces till around June 1st. All right, the end of May, early June. So let me tell you what, regardless of what is in what house, I want you to remember I'm talking about the Vedic chart. I am not talking about Western astrology. I don't know why, but nobody hears me when I say that. And people are still, oh, well, my son's here, and they're not listening. And people that don't listen don't get the value out of this that you can get. So what can I say? People, they just don't listen. But if you want to get the value out of this, listen up. You need to know your Vedic chart. It is more precise with prediction. Trust me, I've been doing this for 45 years, and I've done both systems for over 20. So I think I know the answer to that. Okay, and we have a lot of know-it-alls that will give their opinion, I'm sure. But trust me, if you want to trust me, use your Vedic chart. And if you don't know it, you need to know your ascendant and your moon sign. And you can look at this from both your ascendant and your moon sign. So, if you really want to see your whole chart and have it printed out and everything, go to my Galactic Planner, galacticplanner.com. Get it. You will love it. You will have your chart. But if you just want to get it quickly without doing the planner, you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and go to my free chart calculator. Yes, it's free. And put in all your information. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You're not going to understand the Vedic chart if you've never seen it before. Go to the bottom. It will tell you MO, that's your moon. It'll tell you what sign it is. And AS, that's your ascendant. That's what sign it is. Those two signs I want you to listen to. Okay? So, if your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Aries, then this huge conjunction is going to occur in Pisces in your 12th house. And that means huge endings and letting things go. There can be a radical healing. This is good. This is what you want. Healing, letting go. And somebody could come back from your past. And they could be a foreigner. But this is something really significant that will happen, and pay attention to your dreams. Yes. So if your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Taurus, this means this configuration in Pisces is in your 11th house, which is the house of great gains. So this is a time that you should be looking at investing and investments and putting your money in a good place, because you'll do well. And another thing is the 11th house is friends, groups, and organizations. You're going to meet some powerful, amazing people that can really help you out. But be aware, Neptune can be deceptive. Also, if you have an older sibling, this could be a time that their focus becomes part of your focus and you come together more. But be careful. Like I said, Neptune is very tricky. All right. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Gemini, This is all occurring in your 10th house. Career takes off. You're being noticed. You are exceptional during this time. Business, work, career. If you have your own business, it's going to take off and expand. If you work for someone else, you'll get a raise or some kind of advancement. Something exciting will happen. And I'll say this also, there's something about notoriety that will happen at this time through connections of people you know. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Cancer, then this is really interesting. This will be in your 9th house, which is the house of spirituality and truth. Lots of realizations will come your way, as well as lots of unexpected travel, probably. Going to beautiful places, maybe even going someplace to explore your spirituality. Take some workshops, travel to mystical, meaningful places you've always wanted to go. And if your father's still around, there may be a mystical spiritual experience with him. And even if he's not around, that's true. Going to school and learning high-minded things will be a part of your life. So if your moon or your ascendant sign sits in Leo, then this configuration is in your 8th house. And this will mean a lot of money can come your way through other people. Could be something like a settlement, an inheritance, and or it could even mean that maybe someone's going to pass. And if they do, it will somehow turn into a positive thing. But do be aware that it is a time you have to look deep into your soul, your psyche, because there is a lot that's going on deep beneath the surface. And be aware, you have to be aware of people that might be corrupt or not helping you out. Have all your feelers out. You'll know your psychic ability will take off. If your ascendant or your moon sign is Virgo, as I mentioned before, you could fall madly in love. And that's something you've got to be careful of, because Neptune being there, once Saturn comes in by, let's just say, April, and then again, by the time of June through July, there will be a big wake-up call, okay? So be aware, relationships. And if you are married, be aware of where and what your partner's doing and pay attention. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Libra, then this means this configuration is in your 6th house, which means that it's all about health and healing. And be careful, because you could have some really weird ailments that you got to pay attention to. Because Neptune means you can't see things clearly. And it could mean some health issues from excess, or you got to clean up your act. You can't be doing things and expecting to get away with it health-wise. That's not healthy. Do what you have to do to get healthy, and be aware around the workplace, and if you have employees, that you got to pay attention. They may be doing things that, stealing or being corrupt. That kind of thing can happen. But all at the same time, it is a good time for you to get healthy. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Scorpio, then this vast conjunction is in your 5th house, which could mean, which does mean your creativity is off the charts. 5th house is creativity and intelligence. And it's also investments. It's a great time for you to invest. It will be amazing. And invest in things like even film, Netflix, movies, things like that, because that's what Neptune rules. But looking at this, you could find this as a time you could get pregnant if you're looking to have children. Yes. Expansion to the family. This is huge. Venus is all powerful at this time. And your children that you do have, if you have children, will succeed in some way, or they will meet the love of their life. You'll see. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Sagittarius, this configuration is in your 4th house. And this represents your home, your family. Maybe you're moving to another house and you're fixing it up. You're decorating, something to do with improving your home, making it beautiful, making your home beautiful in some way. So you don't even have to move it. Maybe it's renovating, but it can be decorating or a move. And or if your mother's still around, you might find some issues with your mom. There's something big with her going on. Her life is changing dramatically. Maybe she's finding love, connection, but something huge is shifting in her life. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Capricorn, then this is a time of travels and especially learning. If you're not going to be traveling, you might go back to school. You're learning something, something with maybe media, communications, and or maybe you're going to be writing a book. Something about communications and writing comes out. And this is a great time for you to be creative in all ways. And if you have a brother or sister, especially younger, this can be a time where you come together more, maybe even travel together or travel to see one another. Okay, if your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Aquarius, then this means this can be a time of making a lot of money, and wealth and money will be yours. Just be aware that if somebody comes to you with a deal that's too good to be true, then it is. Use some practical matters and you'll do fine. You'll make money. And there's something going on that will be revealed in the family. Something about your family that you might discover that you didn't know about. Okay? And be aware of your speech. Use your speech to say the good things in life, not hurtful things or things you didn't mean to come out of your mouth. All right. So if your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Pisces, you're going to be hit the strongest because all these planets are going to be in your 1st house, which represents a new you. You're going to want to change the way you look, the way you dress, your hair, and it will be more beautiful. It will be amazing how you change your appearance and look. And you're getting into mysticism and spirituality more than ever with this. You're going to be a changed, transformed person, and you're going to be more creative and have more beauty and love in your life. Okay, so with that, I think I got across that this is coming up really soon. Get ready, be prepared. This Venus in Pisces is going to be life-changing for all of us. So Venus has this cycle that is so spectacular because it has the cycle of every 7 to 8 years that it goes back to the same sign in its retrograde process. So it was 2017 when Venus was retrograde before in Pisces. And go back to that year and see what happened. What was your life like? But I gotta say this time is much more spectacular. Why? Because Venus is conjunct Neptune, Rahu, and Jupiter is in Taurus. So this time is going to be monumental with a big splash in all of our lives in a big way. So this is different. This Venus cycle is so significant. It actually, in the process of these 8 years, forms a pentagram in the sky, a 5-pointed star, which is so beautiful and significant. And it represents a spiritual transformation. So with that, I think I'll close. Remember, if this has inspired you to learn Vedic astrology, my semester 1 is going to begin February 6th. Go to University of vedicastrology.com and become my student. Thank you.